little more, just a little more, just a little more, just a little.
All right. So, Ray, I wanted to just kind of get more insight on what you were saying about. You say you never thought being gay was a sin. You just felt like you had to hide it. And so I kind of want to get better understanding because, we need just a little more understanding. He's added that in there. Just a little more understanding on that. I wanted to get a little more insight.
I knew I was scared at a young age. I never questioned if it was wrong. I always felt like it was just a natural instinct that I had. Mm-hmm. I never experienced anybody else that was gay. My idea was gay. It was something like the little bit of stuff I probably seen on TV. There isn't that much.
Watching that.
That's something to bring up because, but like this is before RuPaul's Drag Race. Mm-hmm. This is before, now gay's cool and everybody, got the gay best friend and you see 3 different shows with it. So I'm with you. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. But that's something you don't see that. Okay.
But that's when the church kind of like got involved is when I tried to hide it. Like the church said like this wasn't okay, so I had to hide it. My mom didn't agree. I mean, I'm gonna still do what I want to do, but I had to hide it. I'm with my family. They tell my girls, I'm a ha 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 ha. I really don't care because I'm talking to somebody else who's a dude, but I gotta hide who I was as a person, who I am as a person. Not was, but like who I am as a person. So being gay is a big part of me. So I feel like I had to hide me. If that kind of makes sense. Like
very big part of you.
Oh yes.
So I had to I had to hide that part and be sneaky and be, sneak out or lie about who I was on the phone with. It caused me to have a lot of trust issues and really to open up a lot. Something that I'm still kind of struggling with, but experience. I didn't connect that piece until I was in college of how hard it was for me to trust. But before then, I'm not gonna say I was in the streets, but I was doing.
Excuse me, let's call a thing a thing.
No, I was. Yeah, I didn't. Mm-mm.
But I think the thing that is, I said was very powerful that you said is that like you were like you didn't have any issue, problem back and forth with the outside kind of world like the church. You know what I'm saying? Kind of was like, okay, I don't have a problem with me, but you seem to have one. So let me just hide, almost to kind of. I don't like to tease, but to be like, okay, to make it okay for you.
Call it space. Wait, that's what it was. Yeah. I had to because the church was still a big part of my background, a big part of me growing up. Like I had to. I felt like I didn't have another choice. Like, wow, I didn't have any gay siblings or gay friends growing up. So I just did what I thought was best for me.
I think it's so interesting that our identity as people is so shaped by so much external pressure and external validation. Me being gay is me. It's my journey. It's very personal. And so I struggle with this idea just in a community in general that now it's your responsibility and it's your business. It's mine. It's personal to me. It's very dear to me. And I find one of the common themes is not our own personal acceptance or our own personal revelations. We know who we are in that sense, it's overcoming what's outside of us that becomes the difficulty in a lot of this journeying.
It's such a struggle.
It's such a struggle. And so I just find it very interesting, but it's so personal to me. You know, since I grew up in a time, and Ray, my mom would catch me playing in wigs and hair. And I grew up, excuse me?
Since I always think about that red dress.
The red dress.
My mom would catch me doing some wild things, and she would just shut the door and laugh it off. And there was no book or manual about how to do this or how to raise a gay son. But I saw love firsthand in front of me. I knew what love felt like being handled. I knew what love looked like and how it was shown. And so anytime I encountered anything outside of what that type of love looked like, I knew that it wasn't God. And I didn't care if it was dressed in a preacher's collar or not. If it didn't feel like what I felt like from my mother, that's how I metered and judged what love was in my life. And I know that I'm very particular or specific in that because everyone didn't have that sort of freedom to be who they are or sort of a chance to really grow up and sort of experiment and do things. But I just think it's interesting that something so personal to us, we make it someone else's responsibility. And we don't, and it's ours. Like, it's so personal to us. So, yeah.
I think it's so funny because I feel like the reason I did, you know, like I'm hearing about it, the reason I don't feel like I felt like it was wrong is because I didn't hear it firsthand from my family. Mm-hmm. Although they did agree with it in many ways, it wasn't directly towards me. Like if the pastor says, God didn't make Adam and Steve, he made Adam and Eve. My coach, yep, true. But I never felt he talking to you, this is about you. I never felt persecuted. And in hindsight, when I think about it now, they all knew.
But I think there's something interesting, and since it may veer, but I've always been interested in the fact that, Ray, you are not an effeminate male.
That's the thing. When you say
right?
you all knew, and that's the thing. Ray, you know, like, I mean, I would probably say me and Sis, we can't hide it. Like, you go out, I come out there with my little, you know, skirt on the toe. They be like, look at that queen there, look at her.
That skirt is to the knees. It's past his knees to the ankle. And
I have
pleated, and it's plaid. Oh, it's ugly.
But Ray, like, literally, Ray comes out fitted, you know, boy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you saw Ray, I know a lot of women that be like, what is your name? Who are you? Can I get your number? Because Ray just don't come across as what you would quote unquote stereotype as a gay man or somebody who would be feminine, you know?
So I wonder how much of no finger pointing at you was based on that you didn't fit a gay criteria socially.
It's so funny because I feel the complete opposite. Even though it might appear that people call me gay, like all my life, like in elementary school, like everywhere.
That's because you got a big booty, Ray. That's all.
So it was just like, yeah, I felt it in other ways. I never felt that like being gay at home was like, I never felt like my folks said, it's okay to be you. It's okay to do that. They told me, it's okay to play basketball. And so you better get them grades up. You're going to college. You're going to be somebody. Like, they instilled all that in me. But they never really said, right, oh, it's okay to be. If you like boys, it's okay. It was like, Ray is funny. Ray is like, he's like for the party. He's funny. He just, and that. But they never validated that. And I kind of validated that myself and had to go out and like seek validation.
Yeah, I would have to chime in with Ray. Like, you know, like, and don't get me wrong, Val and Anita are amazing mothers. Like, Val could come up here right now, baby, and have my back down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Love through and through. Ray's mama would do the same thing for me, all the way in Atlanta. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have amazing moms. And, but the thing about it, that thing of like, okay, Jonathan, you know, baby, I know you a little feminine, and it's okay. It's okay to be gay. Never heard that. And I think my mom always knew. And I always knew that. I always felt like she knew, she couldn't accept it because of her faith. You know what I'm saying? And I know my mama loves God. She's real about that thing. Her faith has inspired my faith. Her faith ingrained into all of us. You know what I'm saying? Not church. Her faith, her belief, her walk, how she prays. That is what we remember. Not church, that religion part. Because my mom has never been that churchy type of person. But I always knew that, oh, she's never going to validate that from me. And so I'll hide it from you because I want to make sure I get approval from you. You know what I'm saying? I'll do whatever I need so I can always approve, as I wanted to make her proud. I want to, you know, she's the queen, so I want to make her proud. And so you may have had, you know, you had a great experiences with your mom having that and, you know, letting you just kind of grow in that gay experience. We kind of had to go out and seek it. You know, we had love from a great mother. We just
amazing love,
acceptance,
amazing love.
peace.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have.
Yeah,
and it's so funny because I wonder, like, where it came from. I know my mom had a friend who I believe died of HIV, and I don't know if that kind of like screwed her image of gay people. Because my mom also is not the person that's like who express hate and like she older. Old people got their ways.
Older, she's old.
You know, they have their ways, but I never experienced like downright hate. And I also never had that conversation with her. It's always been like a wondering, like, where's this coming from? Because, like, I'm in education, and using, you know, people or kids that have crossed their path, and she was a respected person in the school system. So I just never had the courage to ask, but hopefully one day I do.
We've talked about this before, sis, and I think Ray, when he wanted to be vulnerable, might have chimed in a couple of times. But this idea, right, like we're on our own specific path and journey to figure out who we are and accept it. Our parents are too.
Yeah.
Our parents are on their own journey as it relates to this. And of course, that takes a certain level of maturity as we get older. But it's like, and the only reason I bring that up is because you both were like, I knew she loved me. I just knew that something was a battle for her or a struggle for her to accept this part of my life. And one of the things that I've had to learn how to do just with people in general, not all the time, because it gets to be disrespectful, but there are like certain things like with our mothers and things like that, they're on their own journey too. Yeah. And I've given a little grace sometimes to people who are on that journey and don't necessarily, may not accept it, but I know that they genuinely love and care about me. And I just thought that peaked out when you all were like, I never doubted that they had my back and loved me, but they were on their own journey as it relates to being gay.
And that and kind of timing in, because it goes back into what we were talking about with faith, is that I did not know or even think that God and my love for God and my acceptance of myself and being gay was in two things. Because, you know, like I said, I didn't hear it at home. My mom loved me and everything. But I had a spiritual mom, and her name was Dr. Gloria Johnson. And
Dr. G.
Dr. Gloria Johnson, honestly, was an angel. She was the first person who said, God loves you, stupid. He made you the way that you are.
Don't say stupid. You know, she don't like that. She get embarrassed.
Right.
Dr. Gloria, I did not say that. I want you to know that Jonathan said that. You used to call me by my name, Raymond.
She never did. Never did.
That's what she was talking woman to woman when she was talking to Jonathan. Excuse me.
And she told me, she said, God loves you. just the way that you are. And I remember the first time she said, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even receive what she was saying because I thought she was lying because I had heard so much that God can't love me. You know what I'm saying?
And Dr. Gloria is very old.
Yeah.
Very old.
Like she's 1,000. You know, like.
So she have seen it all, you know.
But that was really a spiritual mother who kind of showed me, you know, which was the difference from the ones who, like I said, those pastors who preach against me or preach against sin or sin, going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. To hear a reverend, because she's a reverend, to talk about God loving you, your gay you, just the way that you are.
Not all of you, though. Don't think God just okay with all of that.
It blew my mind. It really blew my mind. I had never thought that God could love me. I really did. I really did. And that's when I really started having a true relationship with God. It wasn't until then.
She was the same thing for me. I didn't start having a true relationship with God until I met her. Not only did she help me with my gaming, she helped me with a lot of stuff because me hiding a lot of stuff affected my behavior and the way I react to a lot of things. So being gay was just added on.
Was work. The Jonathan you met now was work because we were both so raw and we didn't have that kind of experience, and so right. I'm sorry, Randy.
Yeah, so the gay was just a component that I need to explore with all the other stuff. See, being gay, holding it in, hiding it, really messed me up. With relationships, like the people that I love the most are the people that got the hell from me because of it's hard to open up. Like it's hard to open up, but once I'm open up, I'm like, fine. Jonathan, he just called me on some shit the other day, and I said, "You're right."
Yeah.
But I relate it back to everything. Kind of relate back to me being that boy who held everything for being gay, and it affected a lot of my relationships and a lot of ways I have been maneuvered, out through life. So I thank God for good old hag, Dr. Gloria.
Yeah, that old woman. Listen, I'm telling you, I always say this. I think I had to speak at a summer camp one time, and it was talking about being gay. Excuse me, don't judge.
What type of summer camp is this?
Camp. It was a social summer camp called Anytown, Alabama. Any of my Anytown people, rise up. Y'all like and subscribe and share this video. But it was at the summer camp, and I remember I told them that Dr. Gloria saved my life. Like, I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Dr. Gloria. I was ready to go and let it go and be done. You know what I'm saying? Because like I told you, my mom, my family, and God were really a big part of my life. Ray knows that. Like, my family's approval that was it. You know what I'm saying? And what they thought of me was big. And Dr. Gloria had to really break a lot of stuff off of me and show me like different things. And that work started with my work with God and talking with God, and God helped me with it. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have been here. Yeah. She helped save my life. She really did. She helped save my life.
So did both of you deal with suicide as an option with what you were going through? Was that ever on the table for you? Is that something you struggle with?
I never said it ran across my mind for hard things, but I never wanted to act on it. Thought about it, yeah, but I kind of like, no, I don't.
December 2010. I thought about it. It was close. I knew how I was going to do it and everything. And it was a very low place because of the fact of Gary, I think. Okay, I lost you. It came from the thought of just in the place of.
Is that when you came out?
2010.
I remember that day.
2010.
Oh my gosh.
I came out to my family, and to my mom. And that was a whole experience. We need to have a whole show for that. And the loving woman, said some things in my family. And it was an experience. It was a very hard and dark experience. And I like I said, my family's opinion meant a lot to me. And it put me in a dark place that I didn't feel like God could reach, nobody could reach. And like them people who preach to you and be like, oh baby, listen, God can. He'll reach you down, he'll pick you up. God, shut up.
How they say it?
Let me put my hat on. God can pick you up. Listen, you just said. You just said. Like, shut up. You're going to cause people to kill themselves. Be quiet. Let them get support.
You got mad?
Okay.
Yeah.
You got mad.
Real mad.
People downplay depression or downplay, getting help for mental illness or any support that you might need. I was depressed. I didn't want to take baths. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to live.
He filmed me.
I knew he was going to go there.
We need to talk about this depression because I know
no, it's a real thing. It is a real thing. Depression is a very real thing. Sadness is a very real thing. And so I was in a place where, and I really believe Dr. Gloria, having a conversation with her, and she's saying, baby, do you know God loves you for real? And that I love you. You gonna be okay and get through this? And she didn't even know the conversation was that deep. She didn't even know that conversation was gonna stay.
She knew. It's Dr. Gloria.
Yeah, Dr. Gloria.
Yeah, because the first thing she said to me was, baby, you are handsome. You are God's gift.
Yeah.
You are beautiful. You are amazing. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're handsome. You're
she didn't sound like girl.
You went
you went too far. You went too far. You went too far. Listen.
She said all that to me. I said, thank you, Dr. G.
I'll call her. I'm like, excuse me. You never said that to me.
Then she'll say, you are always my favorite. I said, thank you, Dr. G.
Okay, let's just keep it moving.
Move.
Lying place. But no, just when you have a call in your life and you are a minister or you're a person of faith, you need to really take that very serious. And she's the first person, besides, like I said, it's the ministers who talk about, they had convictions in their own right, but she was the first person who really, like you said, Ray said, she probably knew that I was in a low place. And she probably knew she had to say those words to me at that time to make me be like, okay, I'm not going to take them pills and go ahead and end it. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, it is a very real thing. Depression was a very real thing. And it was just based off that and being around family and stuff like that. I would also say, church hurt, I didn't experience like that. Well, we talked about church hurt and people in church being, hurtful or being mean. But a lot of people are experiencing church hurt. But mine was more so just from outside of what my family thought about me. Now, I heard things that my family said, but what I created in my mind and the fears of what they say kind of made me feel like, oh my God, they'll never accept me. Oh my God, this will be, you know what I'm saying? And really not getting the full story. So sometimes you really need to go and ask for the full opinion before you make it up in your mind sometimes. So sometimes you can think people are saying stuff about you and that's not the truth. And then some people just are talking about you. Yeah. But I want to dig in a little bit because I know, sis, you talked about it, so I ain't telling your business. But you talked about a story because you did praise and worship.
Yeah.
At a church. And we're not going to say the church in the situation, but I know that you experienced a church hurt or somebody doing something that was kind of out of the way or hurtful.
Yeah. I think, first of all, let me say that church hurt, and it's abusive.
Yes.
It's very abusive. And I think one of the struggles that I have is when we start blurring the lines between God, spirituality, and then all that other stuff in between that God is not necessarily in. And so for me, I was empowered in my ministry. Like, I loved my ministry. I loved the work that I was doing. I literally am an exhorter. It is my spiritual gift. I am an encourager. I can lift people up. That is what I do. And so I was in my element. But, there was a situation that had occurred where a young lady had went to leadership and said, hey, I think Gary is my husband. I think God told Gary's my husband. Everybody think God done told them something. He definitely didn't tell her that.
Yeah, I need to meet this young lady. Let her know.
I need to meet like, have you met?
Yeah. And leadership told her, oh, I thought Gary was gay. I had never had a conversation with anyone about my sexuality or the choices I was making at all. And so when it all rose to the surface, I asked leadership, I said, did you say that? And they denied it and joked it off. And to them, it was a joke.
Yeah.
To them, it was a joke. But for me, it was hurtful because it was prime opportunity to have an open, honest discussion with someone who's in leadership in your church, me. And I felt so abandoned. I felt so unsafe. I felt so exposed, like in such a way that was like, damn, like I wanted you to like really help me through this. And it was hard for me. But it was in that moment that I recognized like, this is really my journey. This is my path. This is my spiritual journey. And God had equipped me with every necessary thing to get me through it. I didn't have a Dr. G to get me through it. I had literal ancestors, angels, spirit guides guiding the way for me in a real way, which has really impacted my spiritual practice as it lands now. I literally felt just being led in a myriad of ways, which is one of the reasons I went to DC. A spirit guide said, go. And I went and look what was birthed and what bloomed. And so for me, since this has always been a very 1-to-1 ratio as it relates to my spiritual practice and what I believe and how I go about life. But I knew in that moment, this is a man. Leadership, whatever, position, whatever, but this is a legit, finite, small man. Who has issues, failures, mistakes, all that. I knew. I said, oh, you're not the answer. I knew that in my mind. But I was hurt by it because I wanted him to ask more and dig a little bit deeper and try to help me and try to navigate it. Not necessarily deliver me or pray me out of it, but help me. And so that was rough. It was a rough time because even after that moment, I did ministry 5 years after that. I still did ministry.
Yeah. Wow.
Still did ministry. You said what's?
You said you stayed in the church and still did ministry.
And you know why? Because I knew the call.
Yeah.
I knew the call. And I knew that I was called to the people of that congregation. I knew that the type of worship that I was gifted to bring before people was impacting, moving, delivering, healing, saving. Even though I was dealing with my own stuff, God was still using me as a vessel in such a beautiful way. And I felt it. I knew it in my body. No one had to tell me stay or go. I literally felt like I'm going to stay right here. Family started fleeing the church. I was like, no, I got this. Like, I really felt called to that particular ministry. And it's one of my proudest moments that I didn't run from, because it had nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
It had to do with me and what was left to unfold. So, yeah.
I think that's a great story. I mean, I really do. It kind of wraps up that whole bow about how, how church hurt and kind of overcoming church hurt and then going into relationship. And so I have a couple of questions. Fun questions. Okay. Now, and I stole this from, Super Soul Sunday, so don't be suing me, Oprah. So watch it though, Oprah, please watch it. All right, question. What is God to you now?
Who's going first?
It don't matter.
Go, Ray. Go, Ray.
Go.
My rock, my love-hate relationship. He's somebody that, or she is somebody I know I can depend on, who shows him or herself in many different ways. Who gets on my nerves, who irritates me, who doesn't provide me with all the answers, but who loves me, who inspires me. She's somebody that understands me. And I can see God in many different people, relationships, my niece, my nieces, those badass kids.
My Lord.
And even in like these tragedies that are going on, I still see God. 'Cause I feel like it's God telling me that, bitch, get up and do some more. Like, yeah, that's my God, baby.
Mean so you says.
Ray. I love that
God.
answer.
Oh.
It was so good. I don't even want to talk. What the hell? Like, absolutely.
You floored. I was like,
I am.
You know I'm real saved.
Okay, that's when it messed up.
Yeah. See, now I'll go ahead and talk. Thank you. God is everything. Moment by moment, hour by hour, second by second, whatever I need, God is. And it's a ... for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm done boxing God in with a label. I'm done boxing God in with possibility or capability. God is whatever I need him to be at any given moment. And he's been a mother at a moment. He's been a father at a moment. He's been a friend at a moment. He's been a corrector at a moment. He's been a path clearer at a moment. Whatever he, one day, she, another day is, I rest on it. And I believe that God uses everything to speak to me. My ancestors, spirit guides, water, nature, ocean. I really do believe God is everything at one time. And I'm done boxing whatever God is in a box. I can't do it anymore. So that's what God is to me.
I like that. Do I need to answer to your meeting? You know, because I go.
Yes.
We know. Yeah. How many do you want to?
We kind of summed it up, but go ahead.
Yeah. Just close us out.
Just to toes right. God is all in all. Everything that y'all said and more. God is all in all. Okay, my next question, and it's gonna close us out a little.
Oh, that one closing us out? Okay, come on.
So you taking over? What is something you would tell your little gay self who was starting church and didn't feel accepted? What would you tell yourself and them now that you didn't know back then? What would you say to them?
That is hard. Oh, that's hard.
Come on, sis, help him out, chime in.
It's okay not to know everything.
That would be mine. And mine would be, you do not know everything, so keep on living.
Surrendering to that has changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know everything. I don't have the answer to everything, and that makes life worth living. So keep living.
It's okay. Breathe.
Keep living.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone. You're not alone. Be bold enough to be the first. Be bold enough to stand out there alone. Because others gonna pat you on your back or like grab you by the hand and y'all walk together. But somebody gotta be the first. And little nigga, that could be you.
No, say, listen.
Little nigga, that should be you. Like, be bold in that. That's what I would tell myself. Yeah.
Now listen, and he probably was bad back then too, child. So you probably have to give him a little whooping and say, "Sit down, sit down." But let's close it out. Let's do our cheers. Thank y'all. Thank you, everybody. Ray, you don't have anything? I can see that. You drank all of yours. Okay.
Oh, great.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you tune in with us every Monday for just a little more conversation and understanding, just a little more tea, and a whole lot of love. See you later.
You ain't have to do all that, but
Cheers.
empty glass.
No, I'm with my glass right.
You finish recording.
Just a little more, just a little more, just a little more, just a little more, just a little more.